Hello everyone and welcome to this week's reviews, and I thought I would do something a little different and talk about two animated films that were given international releases but ended up going straight to streaming on this side of the world. First up is a movie that was originally scheduled for April and then August, and now it's suddenly on Netflix. Duck Goose. Sometimes you come across a recent animated film that feels like it was made a decade ago. Duck Goose is just that kind of movie. The jokes are fairly stale with your fair share of lowbrow humor, but also some risque comedy that completely caught me off guard and made me think, wait, this is a family film, right? This is a movie where its idea of wit is naming two cranes, Frasier and Giles. I'm sure there's a big cross-section between the Frasier fanbase and Duck Goose. My major problem with this movie is I found the main goose Peng to be rather unlikable. He's a big jerk to these two young ducks, and obviously he will grow to care about them, but it just made the film as a whole rather unpleasant. The movie's attempt at a villain is this cat with dual personalities. Sort of. They try and do this Gollum thing with him, but the only difference is one personality is slightly more psychotic than the other. I do have a few positives. For one, it's a nicely animated film, the animals are well designed, and the backgrounds are lovely to look at, and there's a zippiness to how the camera moves in certain sequences. There was also one character I enjoyed, which was this old wise turtle voiced by Carl Reiner. He has a few funny lines and is a genuinely pleasing presence. And then he disappears, and we never see him again until a mid-credit scene. To be honest, I would have rather spent the entire 90 minutes with him. So to Original Force Animation, I would love to pitch a Larry the Turtle spin-off movie. Overall, Duck Goose was an underwhelming animated film with obvious and tired jokes that did not do much for me, and a story I'm even struggling to remember. Next up is a monster mash as a family finds themselves transformed into various creatures, appropriately titled Monster Family. Curiously, despite that title, this movie's at its strongest when the family is apart. In those scenes, the film takes some advantage of its premise by having the family members grow accustomed to their powers and take advantage of these newfound abilities. But when they're together, a lot of their screen time is spent bickering and complaining, and it's not nearly as fun and makes the film feel longer. The characters themselves are rather thin, and the humor doesn't land most of the time. One particularly odd running joke is the father constantly farting. And not just when he turns into Frankenstein's monster. There are scenes of him farting at the office. I did like Dracula's bat sidekicks, and yes, while they are very much in the minion vein of animated sidekicks, there is a scene where they play Toccata and Fuegi in D minor by Bach, and I have trouble hating a movie that does that. It should be pointed out that this is a German animated film, and I watched the dubbed version. While the animation is more than passable, the lip sync was a tad off. And because this was dubbed by an English company, everyone is British. This is not necessarily a problem, as they actually got some talented actors for this, including Emily Watson, Nick Frost, and Jason Isaacs. The odd thing is, the titular family is supposed to be American, and the first act is set in New York City. Maybe it's the Wee Britain section of New York. In the end, while Monster Family had a few creative moments here and there, it did not entirely gel in a satisfying way. Anyway, both of these films are available on Netflix, so feel free to watch them and form your own opinion. Thanks for watching this week's reviews, and I'll see you next time.